Dear friends, next part, the present situation, the government decided to merge so many banks. Then already decided, for the last 2 years they planned and finally they decided. At present only 12 banks, altogether total 12 banks are there. That is the present situation. First one, definitely the Associate Bank and State Bank of India merged and only State Bank of India. All the other remaining 19 banks, stage by stage they merged and finally only 11 more banks. That means altogether 12 banks. I can mention the name of those banks. State Bank of India, already the first bank. Then Bank of Maharashtra is there. That is earlier that Maharashtra was there. The same that it is continuing. Bank of Baroda. And Vijaya Bank and Dena Bank merged with the Bank of Baroda and formation, and already that Bank of Baroda, the other banks merged and Bank of Baroda is the only bank among these three. And then Central Bank of India, Canara Bank. Canara Bank, that Syndicate Bank is merged with the Canara Bank, thereby the Canara Bank. Then Indian Bank, Allahabad Bank merged with Indian Bank and Indian Bank is only having. Then Indian Overseas Bank. Then Punjab National Bank. Then OBC and United Bank merged to Punjab. OBC means Oriental Bank of Commerce, and Punjab National Bank and United Bank merged to Punjab National Bank. That is Punjab National Bank is there. Punjab and Sindh Bank also there. Punjab and Sindh Bank. Then United Bank is there. United Bank of India. Union Bank of United Bank of India already merged with the Punjab National Bank. Union Bank of India. Union Bank of India. Andhra Bank and Corporation Bank merged with Union Bank of India. That is Union Bank of India. Then UCO Bank. These are the 12 banks, State Bank of India and another 11 public sector banks together. These 12 banks at present only existing. The merging programs already completed, somewhat completed, is going on and completed, and at present only these 12 banks is existing as public sector banks, and the remaining only private sector banks. Among the private sector banks we can classify into old and new. Old banks, they were earlier that old banks were there. Among that old banks, the Kerala based so many banks are there. South Indian Bank, Dhanlakshmi Bank, Kathalesari Bank, Thrissur based 3 banks, old banks were there. At present is having, and Ernakulam Federal Bank Alivai, that is Ernakulam based. And all the other banks merged and finally merged to some nationalist banks and other private banks. This Nedingadi Bank merged to Punjab National Bank, and other private banks already merged. At present only these 4 banks were Kerala based, head office located in Kerala. Actually those banks established all India based, but only these 4 banks is at present is having. The South Indian Bank, Dhanlakshmi Bank, Kathalesari Bank. That is, there are 3 banks based in Thrissur and Federal Bank Alivai. Among these, we can expect 2 banks, regular recruitments are there. You are getting that this Federal Bank and South Indian Bank always, that all the years they are recruiting both officers and clerks. They are having so much establishments. Therefore, very good opportunity you are getting through this bank. The same salary structure and everything somewhat equal to that nationalist banks. Federal Bank, certain little more, that certain categories they are providing. This is the situation of private banks. These are the old generation banks. New generation banks means those banks started during the after the economic policy, that means 1994-95. The first bank started, new generation bank started, that HDFC Bank. So many banks, at that time 7 banks, 10 banks already started, and 2 to 3 banks merged, and at present only 5 or 6 new generation banks already is having. And then after finally a later level that some more banks were started under the new generation banks, and government giving license. These are the new generation banks. What exactly new generation banks? Actually those banks are also private sector banks, but initially itself with the entire technology and all the developments, they started their banks. That is why they are calling us new generation banks. At present almost all the banks are having all the technologies. They are using core banking system introduced. Core banking system, that is entire banks are interconnected through common server. entire branches of a bank. A bank is having so many branches. The entire branches of a bank is interconnecting through common server. That means that you can operate through any branch, anywhere, whether it is national level or international level, whether they are having branches, definitely you can operate through all the branches. That is core banking system. That almost at present the level of all the banks are having the same, this core banking system. Similarly, these banks dividing the entire program of government, and government is allocating so much programs. Actually, that in this last budget, this year budget, that is so much changes may be there because of the unexpected situation, that so many changes may be there. Before that, in the budget already, that our finance minister announced that so many rural branches they are planning to operate. So much rural bank. Usually that rural branches, while operating rural branches, banks are having certain laws, certain disadvantages may be there, but at present they are those banks are insisting they should open. Individual banks target oriented allocations were done by the government. Approximately 1500 branches has to open by State Bank of India. Similarly, each and every bank has to open approximately more than 1000 branches each to all the rural areas. That exactly was the plan announced during our this year's budget. But unfortunately, after the March, that so many problems, and we don't know that how much all the things that how much it can fulfill. That is why that we are expecting a huge number of recruitment this year itself. Even though that they are deviating a certain extent from the number, that's anyway that so much number may be there, retirement vacancies and so many developments, rural developments, definitely that everywhere needs bank. During this crisis and situations, only the financial sector can withstand through these institutions. Only after getting institutional help, we can withstand. And that is why that the relevance of all these organizations. Those who are having money, definitely they want a bank. Those who are in need of money, definitely they also want a bank. That means that everybody want bank. This is the relevance of banking system. And together with that, international banking system is so much established. So many of our banks opened branches in internationally also. Indian Bank is having so many branches in Singapore, Sri Lanka. Indian Overseas Bank is there also having so many branches outside. Bank of Baroda, they are having so many foreign branches. State Bank of India already having so many foreign branches. Satellite offices are there. They are having so many satellite offices having link with these banks for entire operations. So many joint venture programs together with another international banks that these banks are having. And because of the expansion of digital program, digital currency, that everywhere everybody can operate, and the latest system, that our mobile banking system, our online banking system, this digital system established, everybody can transfer in our mobile itself any amount, any money, and transfer of money is more simple. So many technologies we are applying for RTGS, NEFT, so many technologies, everybody can transfer money at any time. Then ATM also, that any time money. Usually people are using any time money. The real expansion is not that what exactly? ATM, automated teller machine. That is ATM. ATM machine is automated teller machine. Teller means in order to reduce the customer's waiting time. Earlier on counter was almost all the banks are having. That is teller counter. When a person immediately enter the branch, that he is giving the check or anything in the counter, immediately he will get back the money. That system up to 2000 or 5000, maybe there are some limitations. That system introduced in order to reduce the customer's waiting time. This teller counter was there. Based on the teller, that name that they introduced, it is automated. That is why the relevance of automated teller machine. The real expansion is automated teller machine. We can operate, we can deposit, cash dispensing machines are there, we can deposit money through that machine, and we can take any, and we can transfer through that by making use of ATM or even our mobile, and online also, that all the transactions, everything we can done. That is a new technology that we already reached. Here that the opportunity, how the opportunities that we are observing. Okay, thank you.